Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to That Scuffed Up, Episode 2, Part 2. It is Sunday, March 19th. We just came back from the All-Star in the Home Run Derby tournament. Today we have a special guest with us. It is our one and only El Presidente, Anthony Agrusa. How are we doing today, Anthony?
Oh, I'm doing well, gentlemen. Thanks so much for hosting this and being a part of OC Wiffleball. Very excited to be on today.
Good to hear. We love to have you, as always, our fearless leader of Orange County Wiffleball, of course. And I'm alongside with Mr. Stephen Hayden. How are we doing today, sir?
Hello, back again. Just got back from a busy day out the field, and now we're gonna just come here and come talk about anything we want. So
Yeah, we're in a little bit of a time crunch, so we're gonna try to knock this out as fast as possible. But how did we all feel about the overall atmosphere of the All-Star game and the Home Run Derby today? If anybody wants to chip in here.
yeah, it's how Andy start off with that one.
Yeah, absolutely. So every season there's a special event, right? Home Run Derby, All-Star Game for some of OC Wiffleball's finest. Each team's allowed to nominate 2 players for the Home Run Derby, 1 for the All-Star Game, and depending on availability, sometimes that gets mixed up a bit, but good showing overall. I think the Home Run Derby was very strong today. Some great hitters at the plate, able to produce a lot of home runs. First round, very exciting. I was able to lead the charge with 18 home runs. I thought I was going to win it. Hayden came out strong as well. Same thing with PJ Gordon. Little backstory. Hayden is a 2-time Home Run Derby champ from the past. Fletcher Matthews was our original Home Run Derby champ, won it 2 times. Then Hayden won it 2 times. So it came down the wire between Hayden and Gordon today. And Hayden did get a victory. So he's now a 3-time Home Run Derby champion. Congrats to him and all the hard work he puts in. But overall, Home Run Derby, excellent. A lot of home runs out there, guys competing. So I think it was a good event overall.
Yeah, it's always a great atmosphere, and we had a trend for a while with the Home Run Derby champion winning 2 years in a row. This time, Hayden has broken that, and he's winning 3 years in a row. He called me out in an interview today, saying I didn't believe in him, so he proved me wrong on that one today. But let's move on. Let's talk about Anthony, you as a person, why you started this league and all that kind of stuff. So we got a few questions that we got lined up for you today. I think our first one is, how did you get into wiffle ball and why?
Yeah, great question. So throughout my young childhood there and throughout the teenage years, big baseball fan, right? I feel like every one of you has some sort of niche or unique skill set when it comes to baseball, or maybe it's soccer, football, but there's some potential sport background that you fall in love with the game. And when my season ended, I think for all the viewers listening, batted a $182 in college, and boys, that ain't gonna make it to the pros. You're batting 182, so it was time to hang up the cleats, and I did attend Clemson University down in South Carolina, and I
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers, yep. I was able to take over the Wiffle Ball League. So in Clemson, the founder of that league, his name is Joe Crusoe, kind of taught us how to play the game with the rules that we do now. At the time, it was, I think, 7 teams. And then I took it over, and it grew to about 24 teams. So when I left, there was about 300 members or so. And the season after I left, they really hit it hard in terms of marketing and getting the word out there. And so the league's over 500 people now. It was like 48 teams. It's a great way on campus, too, for all the Clemson footballers to go out there and can be competitive. So I ran that for about 5 seasons there. And as I returned back to Orange County, my hometown, I said, well, it's time to start Orange County Wiffball League, right? There's that same niche and that same model that we went back to, the same premise. You know, there's some sort of special sport you play growing up that you fell in love with, whether it's baseball, football, soccer. So it's an opportunity to come out, have fun, compete, and continue the season. So this is currently our 5th Orange County Wiffball season, going on to our 6th in the summer, which begins on April 18th. But a little backstory there, little reason why it was founded.
Love to hear it, and it's a great story to listen upon when you're trying to figure out like why you want to start a league out here. And there's a lot of them out here too, like SoCal Wiffleball, to name a few. So for you to be able to start one out here is pretty interesting. But you come from that background from helping out with the one in Clemson, and obviously their following is a lot bigger because it's part of you guys did it through the university type of deal, and you're trying to get a lot of guys that come out from different parts of California, obviously. So, and we're at 13 teams now, which is pretty impressive from a couple of years ago, if you could say that.
Yeah, absolutely. Starting off, it was 3 or 4 teams. I don't think my team either had rostered 5. It was kind of like, hey, show up. Let's see if we can do this. We used to play on a park. The grass wasn't cut. There was geese, poop everywhere. Not a very good look. But, you just had to believe, right, that, hey, if you start it, they will come. And it was a good experience overall. So I think the founding teams, if we go back to it, was Wise Guys were one of them. Beach City Bombers, an original team. The Blue Wiffles, which are on and off now. They won a couple games their first season, a couple playoff games as well. I don't think they ever won a World Series. But they were also a founding team. And then there's another one as well that was also a founding team. Oh, yes, the Big Pineapple People. Yeah, so it was hey, let's show up, let's get together. And then as we grew, now we play inside of a stadium. Right, we have over 80 members, projected to have anywhere between 15 and 20 teams next season. We're a co-ed league, and it's for you to have fun and playing in the sport if you're a big baseball or softball background. But it also serves as a purpose to meet other people like-minded in the community. Post-college or as you get into an adult, friendships are harder to find just because proximity, work, right? There's not a lot of social situations compared to a college campus or a high school. So, if you're looking for, how do I build a network full of kind people who want to welcome me into the community and have fun doing something that I love, that's what Wiffball stands for, right? That's what we represent, and that's kind of what we preach.
Yeah, and not just Wiffleball too. You guys do. We have golf tournaments. We have March Madness brackets going on. We have a sports book. We got fantasy, I should say. We got a lot of stuff besides just doing Wiffleball too, which is awesome. And you being able to put that together is a great opportunity. I'm gonna throw it over to Steven, in case he's got some questions for you. I don't want to steal the show from you.
No, you're good. I was enjoying listening to you. I'll kind of keep it more in the same area. Depending on how much you want to reveal, Anthony. You started off the league and it's grown a lot from the first 4 or 5 teams that you had originally. Now we're up to 13. How do you what is your potential vision for the league, like coming through the next few seasons, or even in the next couple of years? Like where do you see this league going?
Yeah, good question, Steven. Foremost, every time we look into the future on projections and what we want to do, it always goes back to that core mission value of, how do I create a relaxing and fun environment for people to compete and make new friendships and relationships and connections. So that will always uphold and be first in any ventures or expansions that we do. A couple projects in the works as we expand into multiple teams and get our name out there more. There's been talks of a couple locations on the other side of the mountain. So Inland Empire League, up and coming, started to form. And then as we get bigger, possibly even to the summer season, there would be a split possibly between a D1, D2 league, where D1 and D2 teams may still play each other ever so often throughout the league. But in terms of standings and a bracket, we wanted to make sure that it's competitive within your division, as we understand that not all teams are created equal. There's different skill sets. There's people who've been playing longer in the league, so they have more grasp of where the strike zone is and how to play the game. So current expansions and projects is to start expanding into new cities and new territories. And then you will start to see a development or formation of a possible D1, D2, maybe a co-ed required league too. There's been talks about that. So a couple different expansion projects there, I would say.
Yeah, especially with an area like Southern California. I mean, we've talked about like there's some certain leagues around here, but overall, wiffball in Southern California is not. It's not super well known. I think it's a I think it's a great thing that you're starting to spread it out, to spread it out there, and especially with some leagues that may be more competitive. You're offering the competitive and also more the the fun atmosphere where it doesn't have to feel super competitive. It just feels like it's a way for me to be able to get to know people and just be able to meet new people on a Tuesday night.
Correct. And I think that's fundamentally most important, right? To always uphold that premise of allowing all groups and all community members to come out and find a network and a connection in a community that will hopefully last them a lifetime, right? You're not going to look back, 4 years from now and, worry about how much insurance you sold or, what kind of car you drove essentially. But you're going to remember those nights when you're down the sixth, right? And, Owen Shiro hits a walk-off bomb and Donald LeCombe comes gives you a hug, right?
Exactly.
Or you're down 11-2 in the first, right? You find a way to battle back with your teammates. Something like that, right? That's going to spark more of a memory, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Just if you got more stuff, you can go ahead.
No, I just wanted to add to that point. Like, it's fun because, like, I've only played for one season already, and like guys like Ryan Miller, Dylan Hoffman, like those guys I've made friends with. So, to have the opportunity to meet like those guys, because they have baseball backgrounds and they have a lot of connections too. Obviously, not in it for just the connections itself, but it's like being able to meet new people that's like around the same age as you and enjoy like the same thing. Like, not just wiffle ball, like we enjoy baseball, football, all that stuff, and being able to bond with guys like Jordan Drexler too. Those connections are going to be there for a while, and I think it's thanks to being a part of this. And of course, most of us will be around the league for some time now, but it's interesting just to, you see the dynamic out there on the field, especially when the guys who leave your team, like Ryan Miller, for example, and seeing him on the other team, but being able to say like, hey, what's up? How you doing with life and all that stuff? It's fun to see for sure.
Yeah, exactly. We'll turn the gears a little bit. We talked a little about the home run derby. Now we can kind of I'm going to get your thoughts on today's All-Star game being a bit wet, very low score. I just kind of want to get your thoughts on how you thought that aspect of the day went overall, Anthony.
Yeah, All-Star game. I had some bold predictions. I think told the camera we were going to mercy him. That's tough, right? Ended up being a 2-1 game, so very big pitching duel. So on Team Orange, which was my team, we had myself, we had you, Steven, Jordan Drexler, Donald from Whoosh, and then we also had Kyle from Plastic Pitches Blue. So very big offensive team, while the other team had some serious upscales in terms of pitching, right? PJ Gordon and Dylan Hoffman, two players that are currently leading the league in ERA. So pitching wise, it was going to be a tough matchup. So I think our team did great. We hung in there. We were able to throw strikes. We only gave up 2 runs, right, to a very offensive hitting team over there. But in the end, Dylan was able to shut the door, right? Struck out Kyle Fromm on a 3-2 pitch with first and second. So it was good overall, but definitely a pitching matchup and pitching duel. And MVP is going to be hard to decide too, just because of so many great players, plays as well. It's just going to be something we have to go back to the books and kind of look it over.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they got a couple runs there in the 4th inning that kind of changed the game. I mean, just a lead off homer in that inning from PJ, and then just line drive from Dylan into left. I just went off my hands. I went to go catch it. I thought I had, and next thing I knew, it felt like the ball was rising. Just rose out of my hands and just dropped in for a triple. So that made all the difference, right? That made all the difference right there.
Yeah, it's those little things that just happen spontaneously, and a lot of those were happening out there today. Like that close call with the cone, we thought our team, the purple team, thought it was a home run, but it was determined to be a triple. But for 2 years in a row, it's been like down to the wire for both of these games. Last year, it was all the way down to the 10th inning, and Team Anthony of your guys' team won. in the last few innings, but this year it kind of flipped around. But Steven, do you want to comment on losing every single All-Star game?
Oh man, I mean, for the record, I'm officially 0-4 in All-Star games, and unfortunately, Anthony had the displeasure of having me on his team, as he's won every single All-Star game before. So I don't know. I usually play pretty well in the All-Star games, but it never ends up turning out to a win. So unfortunately, unfortunately, I dragged our team down to a defeat. So I got to find a way in the summer.
Absolutely. Anthony had a crazy single down that first baseline, and I missed it just barely between my hands. Did you feel like Anthony, this is a question for you. Do you feel like your performance out there was a big contributor to the team itself and how you guys were performing out there?
Oh, my performance was definitely subpar. Going maybe 1 for 5 that game with a little bloop single to right. Standouts for my team. Kyle Fromm had a big night at the plate. Just overall good defensive plays as well. So, unfortunately, you have to be on the winning team in order to win All-Star Game MVP. It's one of the rules. But Kyle Fromm was a front runner in my mind for that game for All-Star Game MVP. From the other side, hitting wise, PJ Gordon took me deep in the second or third inning. Probably 440 on that swing. Below over 100. So he did really well in terms of pitching and also hitting home runs. The team's really held together by Dylan, also by his brother Drake, out there in left. We got Big Country in center trying to distract everything. So overall, it's a tough team to play against, which is probably why my performance was a little bit down.
But
we had two really good teams today. Even in the, I believe it was the fourth inning. I mean, Jordan had the ball that went to the fence, and Sean Hepler made a diving catch in the outfield to save a 2-run homer, which could have made a big difference in the game. It's just little stuff like that. It's just with our team, we just couldn't get the bats going. Like you said, we have you have two of the tougher pitchers in the league with PJ and Dylan. Just if they're throwing their screwball and it's on, it's very hard to hit it, and no one's really been able to figure a way around that yet. So it's one of those we just needed to adjust a little bit better. And I mean, you were talking about Kyle Fromm earlier. We had him at the plate with the chance to win it at the end of the game, and that's the guy you want there. He's been your whole offense so far, and unfortunately he fouled a ball off to end the game. So it just happens.
Yeah, but the performance out there for both these teams, just being competitive, is like a testament to how well these players are becoming for the league. The pitching is becoming really solid. The guys like PJ Gordon walking in there and throwing dots on the back of the strike zone. Dylan, of course, even you, Anthony, like you caught me with a couple of off-speed pitches. Like those were dirty, and the Ephus pitch, of course. But I think it's a testament to how well the talent is, and it's pretty evenly spread out between a couple of teams as well. The Wise Guys, the plastic pitches, and Diablos, they have a lot of really good talent, and it's spread around. So do you expect it to be the amount of talent that comes into the league expected to go up as we go through the next few seasons?
I do. As players get more acclimated to the game and understand how to pitch and hit and have enough ABs, historically, we've seen a trend of guys getting better and massively improving. Every season, we keep track of stats, hits, records, RBIs, average, and pitching has improved substantially, and average has also gone down in that category. But then others, you could see a trend towards more hits in some players as they start to figure things out. One of the rules to always adhere to is that when you join wiffle ball, you got to have a 2 to 3 week implementation period or some sort of buffer as you get acclimated and accustomed to the game, because it's different, right, than other sports and other activities out there. It's not as easy or simple as a baseball or softball league. So 100%, as people get more acclimated, more accustomed to how the pitches move and how to swing, you're going to start to see a trend, and this is getting more competitive and fiercer competition. It's harder to justify those awards, right? It's harder to stand out. It's harder to hit 33 home runs in a season, right? Things like that.
Yeah.
So do you expect, like, when you're talking about like about the future having a Division 1, Division 2 league, you're expecting like maybe Division 1 being those top players up there, and then people who play in the Division 2 is like this the book opener to the game itself, and if they become more acclimated, they can move up to that Division 1. Is that kind of the vision for eventually splitting up the two leagues?
Correct. Yeah, I would say the attribution there is going to be allocated to the team's records. Correct. So if you had to split it up now, you would, start off in two divisions. And then as the season and the years progress, your team will go up or down based upon how you did within the division. So just something to keep in mind, something we might expand to. There still may be a strong force or strong argument to keep everybody in the same league. Either way, even if you are in D1 or D2 league, uh, you would still play D2 teams, essentially. There would still be some games where you would see fiercer competition or less competition, depending upon the nature of the structure. But we want to make sure that D2 teams have a shot in their own bracket, as not all teams are equal or the same skill set, especially when first joining.
Gotcha. So more or less, instead of, it's not a minor league, major league type of system. It's more of like a premier soccer league where they have like relegation for a team depending on how you do for that season. And we have 3 seasons in a single year, so there's plenty of opportunity for a lot of teams to move around. That's kind of what we're in a nutshell, right?
Yeah, in so many words, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, I wanted to take a little deeper dive in the future as well. Just asking you, because you run the league by yourself. Obviously, we're helping out in some of those things, including like the board. Like Ryan Miller's also on there. Um, do you have another day job on the side with this job as well?
Oh well, I can't reveal my secrets live on air.
Okay.
If you guys ever watched the Mafia movie, you guys would understand. There's certain rules of the mob that just you just can't say.
Hmm.
But but yeah, it's all for you guys. It's all for the group and for the good of the community. I really do try my best, and there are others who help out that are not on this call and that are offline. They put a lot of work into the league, helping to set up, set down. But it is what you make of it. So at the end of the day, we want to make sure we have a good thing going, and then we keep it that way.
Good. Well, we love to see it, and we appreciate you always keeping up the good work and running the league by as a one-man operation. As a team, as the league gets bigger, and you're talking about like Clemson's league having what 48 teams, somewhat. If this league gets too, do you think that at some point this league might get too big and you might need a little extra help in that department?
Yeah, I would say that opportunities are always available for people who want to get more involved, especially as the expansion project continues to develop. There will always be opportunities for more positions that are opened, um, and just ways to get involved or have that aspect. There's been a couple questions too about how do I become a board member? How do I get more involved? There's a couple criteria for that, and you would have to be voted into the position. But essentially, things that we look for is, okay, what is your time allocation to the league? What is your overall investment, right? Maybe from a financial standpoint or from a time standpoint in assisting and helping out. And are you someone who upholds the characters and values and traits of, the OC Wiffleball members, the mantras, things like that?
Okay. Well, good to get some things to note out for some people who are interested in those opportunities. How for in terms of like the future as well, like we're expecting to play in that stadium for some time now, um, and we get more teams in here. Do you think there might be a change in the playoff format, or do you think probably should stay the same as where it is, where you have the top? Is it 6 teams, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, one of the benefits of doing a D1, D2 is that now you have two brackets essentially competing for a Division 1 championship and Division 2. So, it opens up the gateway to more playoff opportunities for more teams based upon the division.
Okay. And for other players to kind of get exposed to the league a little bit, do you think there's like a chance of having like open tournaments like in the off season between seasons for people who are interested but want to kind of get a first-hand feel of what the game is like before they decide to join the league?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll shed some light into that. Uh, Orange County Wiffleball, we play three standard seasons throughout the year: spring, a summer, and a fall. This year, we are implementing the Summer Classic, the Summer 2023 Classic, which will take place in the month of August. And what they are is they're weekend tournament games. You'll be placed in a pool, pool A, B, C. You will compete every Saturday or Sunday within your division or within your pool. And then you'll move on to the playoff and bracket rounds, then the World Series. So it's a month long instead of the several weeks or month longs we play for the season. Build your all-star team, build your fantasy team. And we got guys from all over who come to that, right? You guys from LA, from the IE, also local around Orange County, because it's less of a commitment, right? Weekend, it's only a month. I can ask the wife if I can get away for a couple hours, things like that, right? So there's always opportunities there. And then before every season, there's always some sort of pickup game or introductory game. We do it for a couple of reasons. One is for pre-registration purposes. We want to make sure that, hey, if you can come out earlier, we want to just make sure we check off those boxes before the hectic week one opening night. And then two is also, hey, there's your practice game, right? There's for you to get a feel so you don't go out there day one cold. You have some kind of grasp what the sport is and how to play.
Well, there we go. That'll be cool to see once August hits around. That should be pretty exciting for a lot of us players and viewers who are watching this right now. Do you have any other questions, Steven, you want to ask Anthony before we let him go?
I think we've about bringing it back to the now of wiffle. I mean, we've been around the teams for about 5-6 weeks now. We've even seen some games and stuff. You got any? Do you have any early predictions for how you think the rest of the season's going to go? You have any favorites you see for a team possibly winning the championship in the spring?
I do. Yeah. So there's a curse throughout the league in that a number one seed has never won a World Series. So it begs the question of our first place team right now, what their agenda is. Do they, put in some of their backups, see if may take a couple losses, or do they carry on to the one seed, but that puts you in risk for not winning a World Series? Now, the curse might be broken, but historically we've seen the number one seeds not win the World Series for whatever reason. But if you look at that plastic pitches blue roster, I mean, Dylan Hoffman, right? Dog, absolute dog, straight stud. Right, and then who's your number two? Kyle Fromm, dog, stud. What are we going to do about that? Shaden Hendrickson, 2-time, 3-time home run derby champion, also an award winner, dog. Garrett Munoz, huge improvement from last season. Batting, I think, like 380, a couple bombs, seeing the ball well, dog. Right, and then Joey Ponder, he's in and out. Right, he comes some games, some not, but when he does show up, dog. Right, so that team, that 5-man roster, super scary as you enter the playoffs. So the number one seed actually might win it all if they can keep it up. So
team's full of dogs.
and that's what you need. That's what you need in a league like this. I mean, we saw some promise from them in the fall of last year, but they ran up against a good Wise Guys team in the playoffs. But they've gotten together. They started figuring it out. Dylan's been figuring out his pitches more and stuff, and the hitting's been there. They've been one of the best, if not the best, offensive teams in the league. So they've been able to rely on that. I mean, when they need to, when they're down 8-6 in the fifth inning against the other Wolves of OC, they put up 9 runs in the fifth inning. So it's just what they're able to do. They can turn it on when they need to.
Yeah, and that's they'll be dangerous 100%, and they could be the clear candidate to break that curse, so to speak, because they have a lot of pieces no matter what, and they have the bats, they have the pitching. The Diablos are another interesting team I throw into that mix because they have PJ Gordon, who just showed out today, nearly won the home run derby, looked fantastic in the All-Star game. He's probably the top candidate to win MVP for the All-Star game. and they just added a guy last minute. He used to play on a different team, if I'm not mistaken. And then, of course, they got Bobby Petty. So that team is going to be dangerous going down because that pitching is really good, too, because we played them in our last game, absolutely dominated the strike zone, too.
Yeah, and to add on to that, our Week 6 makeup games, which were 2 days ago on Saturday, Eddie Andrade, right? 5 homers in that game, including a diving catch. So he's on the rise as well, right? The team's getting hot at the right time.
And for your guys' team, let's talk about the future for a second. You have yourself and Matt Hornich. I feel like if you guys were able to add any other really good player on that team, you guys could be dangerous for this upcoming season. Is there any talks or rumors right now that we should be alerted to at the moment?
Oh, there's always talks. There's always offers going on. But yeah, from our side, we have myself. We have Matt Hornich, who was the fall 2022 Rookie of the Year. So he had a great offensive day. You have John, right? John's a veteran in wiffle ball, right? He's our coach. He's our captain. Helps with the lineups. Make sure everyone's out there doing the right job. It's like an Anthony Rendon to the team, right? Just holds the glue together. If you guys are Angel fans at all. And then we have our lovely and beautiful ladies on the team as well. We have Kenzie Writing, Lauren Caruso, and then Nikki Shiver. So the team's chemistry is probably one of the best I've ever seen. It's going to be hard to lead the team, and we just need some more practice, right? We're losing some games late in the last innings. But overall, the team is solid. It functions really well, and it's got great team chemistry. So wouldn't want to be on any other team there.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my hand over that so Nikki Shiver doesn't see any of this stuff over here.
Not this again.
But yeah, you guys have a lot of potential on that team, and it looks like you guys might be up for a run if you guys are able to put some things together. Maybe add another batter pitching to that lineup and add up to the number of teams that look really good right now. So that'll be interesting to keep an eye out once you're going into the 2023 summer season, of course. A little bit of a tangent. We got the World Baseball Classic starting up here in a couple of hours. And then so today we have U.S. and Cuba playing, and then tomorrow will be Mexico versus Japan. Do you have a prediction for both of those games?
I think Japan's strong. I think Japan wins it all, in my opinion. I think U.S. does pull out against Cuba. I think they find a way to come on top, but I do think the Japan team looks pretty dominant, so that would be my take.
You're an Angels fan, I'm guessing, correct?
Correct. Yeah, you're never gonna meet a more loyal, right, and heartbroken Angels fan than myself. But yeah, we're Angels for life, ride or die. We got some great players on that team. The management structure is very tough. Selling the team, never going to buy it back. Is already really in the office. He's in the Bahamas. There was a report about that. So it's all over the place management wise, but great players and most loyal Angel fan you're ever going to meet. So
yeah, he was. He said he lost the love for baseball, but he says he retained his ownership of the team because he said he found that love again. So just have to wait and see. But wouldn't it be nice to see Ohtani and Trout face off each other in the championship game of the World Baseball Classic?
It would be, yeah. I think that'd be really special.
Interesting to see for sure. Is there anything else you wanted to add about the league or anything else before we let you go here today, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to do a quick special segment here. Presented. I don't know if we have any sponsors on today's call, so it's just presented by us. Yeah, but quick rundown of the teams in the league and some highlighted players this year that might not get the recognition that they deserve. Mm-hmm. Starting with Plastic Pitches Blue, I think the most improved players on those teams or on the team this year. Kyle Fromm's having an outstanding year. And then Garrett Munoz really has turned around. Everyone else there's an established veteran, so nothing towards them, but really good at swinging the bats. Diablos, I've seen a huge improvement in Eddie Andrade, as well as PJ Gordon. I think him coming into leagues. Everyone else, veterans established. Mitchell Downing also is a conversation starter there. It's going to help progress into the league and make them hopefully win a championship. Wise guys, True's having a dominant year again. right? He's pitching really well. Has over 80 strikeouts. Ben's up there as well with the ERA. So those two are continual studs. They're going to keep doing what they're going to do and go out from there. Brothers of Bash, right? Newly founded team, but off to a great start. They have some serious weapons in terms of pitching and hitting. Nick Agrusa, huge stepping up in terms of the hitting. Robbie Knoll swinging the bats. Tyler swinging the bats. So the team overall is very dangerous and something that we should not count out as we go into playoffs. LA Wiffle's biggest improvement I see. Dominic, right, is his first year in the league, I believe. He's just coming out, swinging the lumber. Everyone else in that team is already pretty established, but Dominic is substantially improved and done very well. Going into kind of the next seed, I believe 5 seed right now sits is you guys, right? So next would be I think it's Plastic Pitches Pink, right? Plastic Pitches Pink was kind of a split off, right? Drake Hoffman stepped up and said, "You know what, Dylan? I'm being the captain, right? I'm running my own team. I can be a GM. I don't need you on my team. Let me win a championship." Playoffs are only top 6 teams, so that 6 spot's really frugal right now. Who's going to be that last contender? A lot of teams tied with that 4-4 record. But Drake Hoffman stepped up huge as captain. Nigel Ward is really getting locked in terms of the pitching, hitting as well. And then you got good old Escalera. Escalera is a bomb, or it could be a ground ball, could be a single, huge wild card, right? Having some big games, and then having some not so big games. So it's kind of up and downs in terms of Escalera, but someone you cannot not account for. He's feared at the plate. You got to make sure you're on top of your game in that regard. So they're the top 6 teams, right? And the bottom 7, Tommy Pham, if Edward Hughes pitching, good luck. That guy's amazing on the mound, hits within speed limits. It's going to be very tough to hit. Hitting wise too, David Waller, David Bahard, Doug, all getting involved on the bats, right? It's not a one-man show. And then the established veteran, Ethan Rothman, it's pretty scary, that Tommy Pham Appreciation Club, for a team that was just kind of put together over free agency. So something very special in that one. And then moving down to the 8 seed, I believe right now we have, is it Woosh or is it Avocabro, Steven? Who's our 8 seed right now?
Let me take a look at that real quick. Right now it's Woosh.
Okay, yeah, Woosh, huge comeback and walk-off win versus Bad News Dinger in week 5. So they were able to come back, and then Owen Shearer in the bomb tonight, 2-run bomb to walk it off. That team is led by one of our outstanding captains, Donald LeCompte. Also has one of our board members, Brian Miller, on the team, doing very well this season. Team batting average, record low for some reason. If you look at players like Ryan Miller, Donald LeCompte, right, overall batting averages, career-wise, batting 357, 378. But this season, they're in the 200s. And you look at the team and you just wait for the bats to explode because the pitching's there. Owen's doing well. Malcolm's doing really well. Min's doing good. So it's just a down couple weeks for them. I think they turn it around.
Highly likely for their team as well. I think the other surprise that we've been talking about is the Avocabros, who we played them and they kept it very close with us. Very 0-1 to the very end until Jordan Drexler hit a 3-run home run off of I forget who the pitcher was during the time, but they're definitely not a bottom tier team. They should be in this conversation too, because they have a dangerous roster with all that depth on their team as well, and they should get a little bit of love on this show as well. And they just pulled out with the nice jerseys and the hats too this week.
Correct. Yeah, Avocabro's fantastic jersey. I think currently the 9 seeds is next on the list. The Higger brothers, Harvey Higger and Hayden Higger, really starting to figure out the plate. Lucas Sardo, team captain, also has a very nice swing. Paul Sardo, when that guy swings, I think every pitch is going to be a bomb, right? He has that swing where it's bomb or nothing, and it's very clean and very, very, very pretty. But they got the win, in week 6. They're moving up. You cannot count them out. And they're a 9 seed, so that just kind of tells you the depth of the league and like anybody's game. Good News Bears, right? That's myself's team, Matt Hornich, and our lovely ladies. Let's just say all of our girls on our team, right? Kenzie, Nikki, Lauren, they can hit, right? They can seriously hit. Both are batting fantastic, right? I think Nikki's leading. We're second in average on our team, third on our team. So our team is to be feared substantially. It's just we're losing late in the game. So it's just kind of showing why we're the 10, 11 seed right now. Bad News Dinger, Joe Reese is having another all-star year. I'm up on the mound, lights out pitching. But average-wise, like Johnny came out this year. He's batting 3-something. He was batting 400 a couple weeks ago. Nick's doing really well. Allen's doing well. Christian's doing well. So the team is doing well. They're just losing those late games again. You got to close in this league in order to kind of facilitate those wins. And then finally, just to recap, we got Beach City Bombers and Little Dingers at the bottom. Little Dingers is their first season, right? But we've seen some serious bats from Eric. Eric's doing really well in his team. He's hitting really well. Brady's pitching really good. Mike's pitching really good. Team captain of that team is Zach Stein. So they're starting to figure things out. The Beach City Bombers, Tyler Moore, I think, figured out the pitching. He was able to beat Wise Guys essentially through his pitching, upsetting it that way. He's got a nasty curve. Joey Hens was added to that roster, former Clemson alum, played in Clemson Wiffleball. So Beach City Bombers are on the rise. They're just losing those late games. And if they were to return next season and enter in, there would be someone that would be seriously feared, I think.
So yeah, there's a lot of depth within this lineup of teams that are out there, and it's anyone's game, like you said. So it'll be interesting to see how this last final stretch of the season will go, and then once that happens, whatever moves happen in the offseason and whatever teams come in, they're gonna have a lot of fierce competition they gotta face in the summer season. Did you want to add anything to that, Steven?
I think you guys covered it about all we had with each team. It was a good description of each team. You got some teams that maybe been unlucky in some games, and then some teams maybe have been more lucky than others. So just find the right balance, and then you got to be able to win. You got to be able to attack those games, get those wins early, and put yourself in a good position to making the playoffs. And once the playoffs happen, anything can happen. So
we got a couple of things coming up through the end of the season too. We've got the golf tourney, which is coming up pretty fast in April, and then we've also got the end of the season banquet. This is the first season we're doing a banquet. How do you think that'll kind of get these guys together for such a big event at the end of the season?
Yeah, banquet's special. We wanted to host an event and be part of something more than just a wiffle ball. This is part back to that mission statement of how do we get you guys involved and able to form friendships, relationships that will hopefully last a lifetime. Banquet's a great way to do that. There'll be award ceremony there. You can buy your ticket online right now. They will expire on Thursday, as we have to submit our registration and how many will be attending. So if you're interested in that, make sure you get a ticket in by Thursday. Banquet is April 2nd, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then golf tournament, another fun activity we do. Fundraiser for the league, and I know there's a big golf community within the organization. So any interest in coming out, competing to win $400 in the golf tournament, that's big cash out there, right? Good grand prize. Those registrations expire March 26th. So you just want to make sure you take advantage of the early bird discount on March 26th for the golf tournament.
I wanted to add another idea for an activity once the next season comes around, but maybe potentially because you're an Angels fan, so maybe there could potentially be Orange County Wiffleball Angels Night ?
Yeah, in full support there.
All right, well, we'd love to hear it, throwing out the ideas, and this will be an interesting stretch of the rest of the season, and we'll kind of keep an eye on it, how it goes. And we have a week off this week, and games will be starting off in 2 weeks. So once that gets off the ground, we'll start seeing what happens. So if you have anything else to add, I think we should get ready to wrap things up here. How do we feel?
Yeah, feel pretty good. Thanks so much for having me, guys, and thanks for all you're doing with the podcast. I think this is really special. Again, we're just trying to help the community come out and have some fun, and the more of these things we do, I think are going to make things special. Banquet, golf tourney, podcasts, shows, things like that. Last kind of fun I'll plug in is, September or summer 2023 season does begin April 18th and runs to the end of June. If you are interested, make sure you sign up before April 9th. It is a Sunday, because early bird pricing will expire after that. Sign-up's eligible, but whether it's just yourself, you got a buddy who wants to join, or you have a full team of 5, that's the minimum on the roster. We would love to have you out there. Come out and try it, right? Try us for a season, and kind of go from there. But yes, summer 2020 season April 18th, the last day to sign up for early bird registration, April 9th.
All right. Well, appreciate it for your time here today, Anthony, and hopefully you have a great rest of your week here, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks here.
Okay, sounds good, guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you, sir.
Have a
for
good
your
one.
time.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Well, that was Anthony Agrusa, Commissioner of the Orange County Wiffleball. We got a little bit of his story and some of the ideas that are coming up through here. How do we feel that way, Steven?
I think we're pretty good. We got some some info that maybe some people didn't know about. Saw an email a few weeks ago about the Summer Classic. I think that may be an interesting one. From what I remember about the rules, there was potentially be some different rules in the league, including use any type of bat you want. So that could be very different, more similar to the style of a United Wiffleball tournaments, where like the national championships and stuff like that. Stuff with the different divisions and stuff that could be interesting. Kind of like a relegation scheme, kind of like they have in the English soccer leagues. Overall, I think he was great on here. He gave us a lot of good info and was able to speak a lot to his goals and how he started the league and why he wants to run the league. I think he's got very good intentions of why he wants to run the league. So I think overall it was great to hear from him.
Yeah, a lot of good ideas to come off of from that interview, and I'm excited to see once that comes up, because that's going to be a lot of fun once that happens, and a lot more things to get involved with the league, and that tournament that's happening in August is going to be big for a lot of guys. And you're talking about the rule changes. I know if Ben is watching this, he might be a little bit excited about that, because we know he likes having those upgraded bats, so to speak. So that'll be interesting for him for sure. And I guess you and I have to go shopping for a pretty nice bat once that comes around. But
yeah, I may have some potential ideas for that already.
Well, I love to hear it after this interview's over, so we don't share any trade secrets of the game. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
Let me go a little bit off topic from that the Summer Classic that we're talking about, and because we participated in a tournament with Ben, Jordan, Drake, Dylan, and
Dylan. Yes.
Am I forgetting anybody from that list?
No, it was you, me. It was Ben Cataspati, Jordan, and Dylan.
I feel like we're missing somebody from that list, and I can't.
Well, there was Brandon Meyer was also there, but he was on a different team. He's actually on the winning team.
Oh, that's right. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if that comes around again sometime, it'd be great to see the Orange County Wiffleball community to be able to participate in the tournament like that, just to kind of get our names out there, get some representation for all of those big leagues out there. And I mean, we're a big league too, of course. So anytime we can get a little bit of representation out there, be solid as well. So if any of you guys are interested, and the viewers out there, when that comes around, maybe hit us up. We're trying to put together another winning team again. We were very close in that tournament this winter.
Yeah, if you guys are interested at all, there's actually a video put out today on YouTube. There was another league takes place in Fullerton, California, by the name of SoCal Wiffle. You can see Dylan Hoffman's featured in the video. You can see some of our jerseys, like the one Justin's wearing right now, because those are the jerseys that we all wore that day. Going back to that. This took place December 31st of last year. It was a very wet, very muddy day.
Oh, yeah.
It was not very good wiffball conditions, but we went the pool play 3-0. We won every single game. We only allowed like 2 runs all the knockout stages. We were able to be the number 2 seed out of 20 teams. Then we in the quarterfinals, we ended up facing the host of the tournament. His name is Dustin Staggs. We ended up facing his team in And when I've talked to him outside after the tournament, he said that's one of the best wiffle games he's ever been a part of, and he wish he would have got more footage of that for his videos, because we went 5 innings with them in a 3-game regulation. And we ended up losing that game 9-7. There were some great catches in the outfield from Dylan Hoffman. I had a decent catch out there as well, and I was able to get a home run off of, I believe it was Ethan Johnson was pitching at the time. So it was a pretty fun day overall, and this is something I've been talking with Anthony about, wanting to possibly do more, is get more people or more teams, get a team from our league to represent Orange County Wiffle Ball in these bigger tournaments, such as the BLW tournaments, or possibly, hopefully, at some point go to York, Pennsylvania for the United Wiffle Ball Championships. I know we had some ideas to get a team last year, but weren't able to finalize it. So
yeah, anytime we can get some representation for this league out there, and it's a lot of fun too. I had a lot of fun playing out there, even though it was a lot of mud. I was slipping a few times. It felt like I was on skates on that dirt for most of the game, but it was a lot of fun to hang out with the guys and kind of have fun playing wiffle ball with. I mean, those guys were throwing hard, like 70 miles, 80-mile pitches out there. So it's a different game out there, of course, from what we do, but it's always fun to be able to adjust and play that type of thing. Jordan and I went to the hill when it was raining, and we did the slip and slide. If you guys haven't seen that video, but it was fun to be a part of that and just to represent Orange County Wiffle Ball as it is, and be out there playing against other players who have a really good skill set. And there's a lot of younger and a lot of older guys who have a really good skill set. So it just shows you how diverse this game is with people of all ages. But yeah, if any of you viewers out there want to participate in a tournament like that, obviously hit any of us up, or even Anthony. I'm sure we would love to get you guys on a team and represent Orange County Wiffle Ball for those tournaments.
yeah, absolutely. Also, shout out to Brandon Mayo, who was on over at the tournament. We had 2 teams from Las Vegas, and he was on one of those teams, on the team that ended up winning that tournament. On this December 31st. So shout out to him and congratulations to him. Like I said, that video just came out in the SoCal Wiffle Ball channel. If anybody here wants to check it out.
Well, the Diablo stock went up once he came back to play for them, so that's why we're talking about the Diablos could be a big contender for that playoff spot. Or no, not for the playoff spot, but
for championship.
To win the championship. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, you got a guy like Brandon Miles, got a lot of experience. Even a guy like PJ Gordon, who also is going to be in the regular SoCal Wiffle Ball League, who's going to be running his own team out there and things like that. So I mean, he's always dangerous. And even at the All-Star game today, I mean, he 3 innings, 0 runs. He did everything, and also hit a home run himself. He did everything he could to help his team win.
Yeah, 100%. PJ is such a solid player. Came out of nowhere this season, so one of those MVP candidates that no one's really talking about, but we're going to talk about it here because he should get a lot of love for how amazing he's been playing this season. So keep an eye out if you're any team that's about to play the Diablos, because they got one of the top pitchers in the league out there this year. So, but I think we've pretty much covered most of everything, and on anything last minute you want to add before we decide to end our part 2?
No, I mean we covered most of it in part one of this podcast. If you want to check that out, that's on the Hunky Dory Sports Show YouTube channel as well. This part was kind of more to get with Anthony and get his thoughts on stuff, and we were possibly going to do this before the All-Star game, but I think this has worked out better that we've done this after the All-Star game, so we can have that conversation point as well. So it's been I think we're about good here.
Okay, well, that's great. So we will have a couple of highlights from that All-Star game, and we have some game interview. We have an interview with Hayden as well that we can add later on and share that with you guys. But If you want to see that video, go to the official Hunky Door Sports Show Instagram or follow Orange County Wiffleball's Instagram, and they'll be on both of those accounts, of course. And make sure you subscribe to the official Hunky Door Sports Show YouTube and the Orange County Wiffleball YouTube. We'd love to have you guys, and we always appreciate you guys being able to watch the show. We got a couple of compliments today at the All-Star game, guys who were watching the show. So appreciate you guys always tuning in and letting us run our mouths for you guys.
We got nothing better to do, so.
Yeah, we're stuck in this room all day. We don't have any jobs. We don't have any regular day stuff. We're just here.
Nah.
But yeah, this is a pleasure to be able to put this on for you guys. So we appreciate you guys as always for watching, and I think we'll wrap it up for you guys. This has been episode 2, part 2 of That Is Scuffed Up podcast show, and we'll see you guys in about 2 weeks when we have the season continue from there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
See ya.